Okay, this is part 2, how to avoid God, what's the term? How to avoid I'm just sorry, I don't script these things. I'm not one of them people. I'm not out here to get monetized or anything. I'm not out here to impress anybody. I'm here to convey my great fund of knowledge, as the record says, and so on, and tell some few stories and stuff. But this is all about how to avoid having your phone destroyed by Google Android's bloatware. Now, it was actually on this phone. I'd already showed you in the last one. Actually, I may have actually led you astray a little bit. No, that's it. In the part 1 of this, how to avoid Android's bloatware, I'd already studied, and it takes a long time to find every niche, every nook and cranny in these things, all the settings, all the alterations. That's why you iPhone people, you people, that's why you have to go to Genius bars and stuff like that, is you don't even know, you won't take the time like I do. It usually takes me a week to find at least all the nooks and crannies, and then they'll send me an update, and all of a sudden there's more nooks and crannies. Well, I start off by buying 3 of these, the 2nd generation Moto E, and each one was a different version. I could tell by the model number that I got 3 different versions and so on. But I noticed that Android would just, it had that little Android app that without your permission continues to load these kind of alphanumeric unknown apps until you just have, and that's all those apps begin to interfere with the function of your phone and so on. I really began to struggle by the third one. By the third one I owned, I was ready for this, but I like to wait until the price comes down a little bit, because otherwise you would have paid anywhere from around $90 for this, the Moto E4. And depending on which country you're in this country you would have paid, when it first came out, around $90 or more with tax. And in other countries, there's actually 2. No, that's the one I'm on right now. The one I'm on right now has 2 versions. And you'll notice that this has a fingerprint sensor on it. Actually, I hated that. And anyway, I started on this. Actually, I began to criticize, even though this one came, and I could see this, it only came with like 51 apps. And towards the end, I really trimmed them back. In order to get it to function properly, I had to cut out all those unneeded apps. I really don't need, Google Maps. I don't need Google Drive. I know what I need. If you're a person who knows what you need and want, but only Motorola, that's what I discovered when switching from this phone, after I trimmed this phone down and after Google tried to destroy this phone, because this phone doesn't accept bloatware. I should have brought out, I've got the SIM card that actually has the malware on it, trapped on it, 178 megabytes. And even in this phone, there's 291 megabytes of malware hiding under the video section. It can't be erased, can't be located or erased. This phone had to go. And actually, I waited until I was, doing also, and this phone, when one day, this is what made my decision to move to the phone that I'm on right now, was that when I leave my home, which is a Faraday cage, as a matter of fact, right now, I'm filming this inside of my barbecue pit, because I know it will block me from all except from the one tower that I transmit to. Google hates me because they can't triangulate me. They don't know where I'm at. and they get no saleable data from me, unlike they were getting from all those children that they just, it was violation, privacy they just got through violating and being fined $170 million. But one day when I was going to go to town, as I was removing that's the one thing that, I've heard people, here, even, I'll finish snap, actually I'll unsnap it now, so you can see what swollen battery syndrome looks like. I was going to town one day because in the interim, I had learned a long time ago is that just turning your phone off isn't enough. Your phone still records every step you take, which direction you're going, where you're at, every time you enter a building, the exact time, the address of that building, location of that building, when you enter or exit a vehicle. It's all recorded. As long as that battery is still in there, it's recording it. And as soon as you turn the phone back on, the first data packets that go back to Google Android is all of your movement and history while you're out of your Faraday cage. My house is a grounded Faraday cage. I'll talk about it. I've been into the tiny house thing for decades. Also, that's what I was going to say. If you're one of those Elon Musk worshiping idiots, this channel is not for you. You're a moron. I perfected solar energy 20 years ago. You've got to eliminate all inverters, transformers, back to inverters, back to transformers. If you cut all that out, that's where you have an 80% loss that you can cut out. And Elon Musk is one of the dumbest people I've ever met. His PayPal is pure evil. Everything he's done is for his ego. He's really done almost nothing that's truly novel. And he's just stupid, especially his solar city, his solar work, and his batteries. The big battery in Australia, it's just junk. It's garbage. He's a complete failure if you're technically minded at all. But as I was saying, I went to remove this battery, and I think you can get a look at it right there. You can see if it's, let me try to get it up close to the cameras over here. If you see closely, you can see the beginnings of the swelling of the battery. Let me try to get into the light here because I'm positioned myself. I kind of had rolled my barbecue pit over here you can see right there. See that swelling? See that little bit of softness on the battery? That means this battery is going to die. I may have to go into a third one actually. I hate to even charge it. There's still a slight charge remaining on it, and I'll show you how to go through and delete the right apps and stuff. But one of the things that I noticed right off the bat when I got this one only came with 51 apps and never increased. The Moto E4, the Moto E5, this is the Moto E4. The Moto E5, I noticed it only came with 31 apps and didn't have that little Android bot. That's about the time that I found out, actually found out before. I read the reviews on the E5, and that's when I found out that Motorola has a contract to alter Android operating systems to prevent bloatware. They have some sort of deal with them. Now, Motorola is a big company with lots of cash, and they are, to my knowledge, the only company out there in which Google Android operating systems have made a contract with them to allow them to alter their operating system. So, to your benefit. So these are the phones that I recommend. You really can't hardly find any more of the Moto E4s. You got to get the Moto E5. There's 2 versions of it. The guy that was reviewing it clearly didn't understand what was going on. Was that he criticized the fact that the fingerprint sensor had been moved to the back. Well, that's because I had found out that that's why I don't mind this version. Actually, I wanted this version of the phone because it doesn't have that fingerprint sensor on the back. Because these fingerprint sensors are actually, because I usually keep my phone on a pedestal right in front of me and stuff like that. And just the pressure or temperature change, from my nostrils hitting that fingerprint sensor would black out the screen, or it'd read it as an attempt to read fingerprints. It was problematic. So I think I'm gonna be able to end this in under about 11 minutes here. Is that if you want to, I'm gonna pull this out just a little bit because I want to. Sorry, I'm tired of you staring at my nostrils. I'm getting enough. I gotta keep down below that metal. If you want to maintain your, I'll also am going to tell you how to use Facebook without using their apps, because that's the easiest way to hack your phone is through Facebook, the Facebook app or the Facebook Messenger app. I had my first real successful phone hack. They were having all my data and everything directly sent to their PC. And so on, it's really helped me to step up my game in privacy. But this is what you want. As I understand, I haven't checked out the reviews, but and actually, when I was still using a second generation, when I was using my only Moto E4, Motorola offered me the Moto Z Droid, which is one of the first really truly revolutionary phones, despite what iPhone thinks it is. You people that want a computer in your pocket that you can't fix or control, and you have no expectation of privacy or whatever and stuff, you're stupid. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting a lot of sunlight in the eyes right now. If you want a phone and want to know how to guard your privacy, I'll talk about it in another one, but right now, it's to the best of my knowledge, that's what the point I was going to make, is that when the Moto Z Droid, before it was actually going into the stores or on market, Motorola offered it to me for $300 plus any old working phone I had that they could send in for refurbishing, which ain't worth much. And I usually keep all my old phones up to a point until I take them apart and so on. But I was going like, well, gosh, it's got a JBL sound system, a 70-inch projector, it's 3 different modules. It's just too much, and it's going to be. And now some time has passed. They may have altered they may still have, but to the best of my knowledge, from the Moto E4 and up, Motorola's had a contract to alter to prevent bloatware. And before I get off here, is that one of the reasons I really had to give up my Moto E4 was because Google was angry at me, and they were sending me through Google Play. They were sending me at least 1 gig a day of junk, just junk that it had no function or nothing except to generate another gig of cache data a day. So if you want privacy and you don't want your phone to die from bloatware and stuff, Motorola is the way to go. You're talking to one of the biggest fans of Motorola. I don't care if this case is flimsier. At least I get to take the battery out. They figured out that's one of the things that some of us wanted in our privacy. And also, this thing only came with like 31 apps, which I've already deleted all the data. I erased all the data and stuff off of at least 6 or 8 of them, at least. So I'm down about the 20 some odd apps that I actually use. And this is the only way that I know of, after a lot of study and much observation, the way to contain your privacy is take the battery out. And if you don't want your phone endlessly killed or having to go to the store to have, you notice how, I'll kind of end with this, you notice how Google and YouTube is full of all these memory cleaning ads and stuff? Well, they're the ones that's destroying your memory. You get it?